Nearly half of South Asian population, including more than three-quarters of Bangladesh's population, is at risk of declining living standards due to rise in temperature and erratic rainfall from climate change, says a new World Bank report. The report was released on 26 September in Haque, South Asia's hotspots. The impact of temperature and precipitation changes on living standards finds that in the last 60 years, the region's average temperatures have increased and will continue rising, which is affecting agriculture, health and productivity. This could cost Bangladesh 6.7% of gross domestic product and decrease the living standards of more than three-quarters of the country's population by 2050. Identify hotspots will help policymakers in finding specific locations and household types where the resources are needed the most to address the rising risk to living standards. While addressing at the program, the World Bank Vice President for South Asia region, Hartwig Schafer, said climate change is an acute threat to development and effort to end poverty. In addition to the coastal zones, the warming weather will severely affect the country's island area in the next decades. To deal with climate change, the country needs to focus on creating jobs outside the agricultural sector and improve the capacity of its government institutions. The World Bank is committed to helping Bangladesh become more resilient to climate change.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you look at the news, I think every day we see how the ugly head of disaster, natural disaster and climate change rears its head. We see in the headlines, we only look at the last 4 weeks, that there are forest fires on the west coast of the United States in California. There was a very strong hurricane with flooding on the east coast in the Carolinas. We have seen floods in India and Kerala, a typhoon in the Philippines, and that all comes on the back of a scorching summer in European countries. So what that tells us is that climate change and related natural disasters are with us, and we cannot deny them. If we look closer to the region, in the South Asia region, the monsoon floods. Every year we anticipate anxiously the monsoon season. And last year, 40 million people across Bangladesh, India and Nepal were affected by flooding from the monsoons. 1,000 people died. But there's more to it. 20,000 schools were flooded, destroyed. And that means that 2 million children did not get the education, the quality of education that they deserve, that they need for a better livelihood, for better jobs in the future. In farming villages, the crops have been destroyed, washed away. And with the wipe out of the crops, the livelihood of the farmers is wiped out. Often, many years of growth, many years of prosperity are wiped out by one flood. So, I think we are very clear that natural disaster and these events have one thing in common. First, they hit the poorest the most. That means the most vulnerable are affected the most by natural disaster. Very often women are more affected by natural disaster than men.
In the context of Rohingya refugee camp of Cox's Bazar, the World Bank Vice President said that is the world's largest and most congested refugee camp. He praised the government of people of Bangladesh for their generous efforts that saved thousands of lives as the Rohingya fled violence in Myanmar.
Over the last 2 days, I had the chance to visit Cox's Bazar, an area where last year 750,000 refugees crossed the border from Myanmar. The refugee population stands at 900,000 to 1 million. And the government of Bangladesh is doing a tremendous job in hosting these refugee communities, providing basic services, providing healthcare, education, basic needs. And they are doing that, of course, in partnership and being supported by the UN organizations, by a number of international NGOs, by the World Bank. But there is an enormous strain on the capacity of the government to serve this community of refugees, the largest refugee community in the world. If you look at Kutupalong, 650,000 people, that's the size of Frankfurt, the city where I come from in Germany. And Cox's Bazar is already one of the poorest areas in the country. And the environmental impact of hosting another million people in this area was very visible. If you look at the deforestation, what used to be wooded hills a year or 2 years ago are now barren hills. This brings with it the risk of flood, landslides. Floods bring the risk of diseases, and the congestion will lead to more stress on the communities. So what we see in Cox's Bazar is not a surprise, and it is not surprising that Cox's Bazar is one of the hotspots that have been identified for Bangladesh. What the report says is that we continue, in this report the numbers were done before the inflow of the refugees. If we continue business as usual, living standards in Cox's Bazar will decline by 20%. If no action is taken, living standards will decline by 20% by 2050. And that is an area that already is characterized by very low socioeconomic indicators compared to the rest of Bangladesh. Cox's Bazar is only one example where disaster risk climate change will have an impact in the future of the countries, of the nation, of particular regions. Overall, globally, if we continue business as usual, we don't take action, 100 million people will be driven into poverty by 2030. That will reverse the trend that we have seen over the last decade. It will reverse the trend, particularly in countries in this region. Many of the displaced people will also flee their villages, move out of their villages in the region, so there will also be a lot of migration within country. So it is clear from this that we cannot address poverty without addressing climate change. We cannot eliminate extreme poverty without addressing climate change. We cannot preserve the gains in terms of poverty reduction. Bangladesh is one of the examples of the countries that has made tremendous strides. We cannot preserve this reduction in extreme poverty if we do not effectively address climate change. This means that we have to help countries identify adaptation strategies, that we have to help countries build resilient infrastructure. How do we do this? Globally, over the next 10 years, we need about 90 trillion in infrastructure investment. We cannot have infrastructure without making sure that this infrastructure is low carbon and resilient enhancing. This is one of the things that any infrastructure that we are supporting has to be resilient enhancing. For us in the World Bank, we have committed ourselves that a share of currently 1/3 of our lending goes to finance climate change activities. Last year we reached this share, this target, a year earlier than what we had envisaged, and we are going to increase this target successively. This is how the World Bank is supporting innovative ideas, innovative approaches to build disaster resilient infrastructure. We will also help countries like Bangladesh to design and implement climate change action plans, climate change business plans. Very targeted, very focused. In Bangladesh, we currently have a portfolio of about $10 billion and 1.5 billion of this portfolio is to help build resilience to natural disasters. We have been able to support Bangladesh to help 40,000 families to build more sturdier, more flood-resistant homes. We have helped build 240 new cyclone shelters. We have helped build coastal embankment reinforcement along 400 kilometers. I saw some of that tremendous improvement when I was starting Cox's Bazar along the coastline, but I also know that Bangladesh is one of the models across the globe in terms of early warning systems, explicitly in targeting women to seek multi-purpose shelters. This partnership between the World Bank and Bangladesh is a strong partnership. It's a long-standing partnership. And our work and our support to help Bangladesh improve the situation in this fragile delta is one of our priorities. This research that we'll hear about today is building on existing research, but it takes it further. It provides very granular information. It identifies the challenges and possible solutions, not only at a national level, but at a granular, at a local level. Because this is where climate change, where resilience are most important. This report, as I said earlier, is coming at the right time, because climate change is going to be with us. We cannot deny climate change. We are hearing every day of natural disasters that are caused by climate change. What this report is doing, it tells us what we can do, where we have to do it, and how we can do it.
Hartwig Schafer said Bangladesh is taking a leading role in reducing poverty, improving human development indicators, and disaster preparedness. Other countries can learn from Bangladesh's innovative development ideas. There is no reason why, with the right to set up policies and timely actions, the country cannot become the next Asian tiger. The World Bank is committed to support this journey. Humayun, Kabir, 2 Days World News 24.